Hello, everyone, and welcome. Welcome back if you've been listening before. For all our new listeners out there, I want to send out a welcome. Welcome to the show. This is Kay on the Weekday. I'm your host, and welcome to the podcast for baseball fans, new baseball fans, casual baseball fans, and any sports fans, any fans out there, anyone who just wants to listen to a podcast and have a good time. Hopefully this will be a show that can serve that purpose for you. But I'm your host, and I'm going to talk about baseball. Again, welcome to another day. As I always am, I'm in Arizona right now, doing this podcast on a very sunny, a little bit too hot evening here. But that's all right. I know it is hot, and I know that my AC isn't always the best, but that's all right. We're staying okay. Now, I was thinking the other day. I was thinking and watching some old baseball clips, especially during this time. I find myself doing that a lot. I was watching some old baseball clips, and I stumbled upon a Ricky Henderson compilation. And for all those who know of Ricky Henderson, you know what I'm talking about. You know how good this guy was. Just an absolute legend. For all those who don't know Ricky Henderson, I would recommend that after this podcast, maybe even you can pause this and go look up Ricky Henderson and see for yourself what kind of a ball player he was. But to summarize it, Ricky Henderson was a player for the Oakland Athletics back in the day, and he was I think it was the 80s. Maybe he finished up in the early 90s. But he was most notably known for his speed. And that's an understatement. He was a rocket. I mean, that guy, he was a legend. I think I saw a stat today, actually, where it said the combined AL steal leader, which I think was Malik Smith, and the combined NL steal leader, which I can't remember. Unfortunately, sorry. To the NL steals leader. Fill me in, guys, in the comments if you remember. I could just look it up right now. But my phone's not with me. But they're combined. So those two players have the highest number of steals in their respective leagues. Those two players combined were barely half. I shouldn't say that. They weren't barely half. They were a little over half of what Ricky Henderson stole by himself in one season. Ricky Henderson in one season stole 135 bases. Now, that's difficult to put into context, but let me try. Now, as I was saying, the top AL steals leader and the top NL steals leader combined for around 80. That is the two number one steals leader in all of baseball combined. And they were just over a little bit of half of Ricky Henderson's total. This guy could steal whenever he wanted to. Now, I would definitely suggest, I believe SB Nation did a little feature on this. I think. I don't know. But anyways, if they did, awesome. I can't remember. It could have been a different company. But definitely look up Ricky Henderson and look up some of his highlights. The dude was a legend. I mean, the Oakland Coliseum got named after him. I think now it's Ricky Henderson Field. But yeah, you'll probably see those famous images of him lifting up the bag once he stole third. I think he broke the all-time record on that. That's why he was lifting up the base. But we can talk forever about that guy. I mean, can you imagine an asset like that, a guy like that on a team now? I mean, a guy like that can truly win you games. I mean, we say that a lot, but that guy can truly make or break a ball game for you. I mean, really. Imagine that guy on a team where with high batting averages, not necessarily high home run totals, high batting averages, especially in their 3 and 4 spots. I mean, this is why the game of baseball has changed so much. It's because now we have a lot of guys who have power, and that's great. It's just a different game, right? Because if you have guys like averages, and Ricky Henderson's the guy getting on, and he's going to get to second on almost every single time he's on base. You get a guy up there who's hitting 315. He's most likely going to knock that guy in more than 3 times out of 10, right? This is why Ricky Henderson can win games. You don't even need a hit. He's going to make it to third. He's going to get you in on a sac fly. Maybe put you in line for a suicide squeeze, a grounder to second base, right? Grounder to the right side. A guy like that can win or break baseball teams and games. Imagine a guy like that. I mean, imagine a guy that stole that profusely. And that's what I want to see back. I really do. I want to see steals back, man. Whatever happened to Billy Hamilton coming up being the minor league steals legend that he was? He broke the record. And I want to see more of that guy, you know? Like I want to see him stealing whenever he gets on. Now, I wonder what this is. Has the strategy changed? And I think it has, right? I think the strategy revolves around the long ball now. It revolves around getting the big hits. And I think a lot of times, sometimes the distance between first base to home and second base to home doesn't matter if you have a guy who hits in the gap, right? As long as you get a decently fast guy who can make it from first to home. You know, I think you're still in a good spot. It doesn't necessarily need to be on second because guys are hitting for the fences. Guys are hitting for the fences. They're hitting for the gaps, right? So as long as you can get a guy up there who can, bang one off the wall, the guy from first is scoring, especially if he gets a good read. But there is guys out there. This is what I'm saying. And this is why I want to see this back. I want to see guys take more risks. I sometimes feel like in baseball these days, we're so hesitant in every way, from and I get it. Like there's a strategy, and I absolutely respect sabermetrics and all these kinds of strategies. But still, don't you feel like baseball's not risky enough these days? Don't you miss bang bang plays at the plate? I forgot his name. Who's the catcher for the old? Not Mike Piazza. I think it's the first. Was it one of the first basemen for the Mets? Was it Keith Hernandez? I'm not sure. But he said the most exciting play in baseball is an RBI double to the gap. And I 100% agree. I think that's more exciting than a home run. Granted the situation, right? I think if you win the game on a double in the gap and a bang-bang play where the guy slides in at home, I think that's more exciting than a walk-off home run or winning the game on a home run. I really do. And I think that you guys do too. And I think that we miss that. I really do. I think, don't get me wrong, I love home runs. I do. Who doesn't love home runs? But also, who doesn't miss? Man, some of my greatest memories of baseball games are just the thrill of those, however long it is, those 20 seconds of, 20 to 40 seconds of the guy hitting the ball in the gap, and you don't know whether he's going to score, and you can see him running around second, and the third base coach waving his arms and running around third, when you're at the game, everyone's standing on their feet and everyone's cheering, and it just gives me an adrenaline rush to even think about it. And then when you're watching it on TV and you hear the announcer say, he's getting around, he's rounding third, he's going on, they're going to send him. And then he slides in, and your heart stops for a second while you're debating or you're seeing whether he's going to be safe or out, what the umpire's decision is going to make. And man, Even hearing about that gives me an adrenaline rush, man. It almost gives me chills. I think back to the games when I was a kid, and I would see that happen, and just especially if your team's coming from behind and it's against a really good team, maybe a rival. Man, moments like that are irreplaceable, and I think fans like it. I obviously, I mean, I think we miss a little bit of small ball. I do. Now, I do want to see this. I want to see this more often. I want to see a guy, I want to see a guy get thrown out. At least he's going for it. I want to see a guy get thrown out at second base. Now, we have a guy on our team, Byron Buxton. Dude, that guy, he is so fast. It is insane. But he does not steal nearly enough as he should be. I mean, that guy could easily be up there. I mean, he probably is up there with Malik Smith, maybe. But that guy could easily be up there at the top every single year. And I want him to be up there. I want him to get caught out stealing. I want him to, because I just want him to try, man. I want to see that more often. I feel like we got to keep the game moving. Sometimes I feel like, and there's all this talk about keeping the game moving. Yeah, we got to speed it up. Why not, man? Let's go back to small ball. Let's go back to, it doesn't always have to be home run or bust, Like, the game is so much more interesting and so much more complex than that. And that's why I want to see guys steal, man. When was the last time you saw a hit and run? Seriously. I can't remember. I can't remember a significant hit and run. I really can't. Maybe the playoffs last year. I can't think of one. But what I can tell you is I can tell you that I remember some of the best doubles in the gap that I have ever seen. Do you remember the David Freese play when there was 2 outs, 2 strikes in the World Series against the Rangers? He hits it to right field. I swear to God, I've watched that clip so many times. Seeing Berkman and Pujols round third and David Freese slide into third like a madman. I swear to God, I've watched that play so many times. And I miss that. I really do. I miss plays like that. Gosh, what's another one? I mean, just putting runners in motion. I mean, that's the one that I can think of straight away. And that wasn't necessarily a hit and run. It was just small plays like that, doubles in the gap. Or it was a triple actually, but I want to see more plays like that. I do, and I think it's so putting the game in motion, And I want to see guys try and steal third. When was the last time you saw a squeeze? The last time I saw a squeeze was in MLB The Show. When this dude online did one against me, and I lost, and it was a brutal loss, but it's all right. Came back stronger, won a few more games, and felt better about myself. But it was a crushing loss. I was the Twins, I was playing the Phillies. It was a crushing loss. I can't remember who it was, who the bunt was, but anyways, I miss that, and I want to see teams that have a guy on their team, a speedy guy, how that can be a game changer. And we do have speedy guys. We have Adam Eaton, like I was saying. We have Buxton. We have Malik Smith, Billy Hamilton. We do have speedy guys like that. But I just think about, imagine if we had the small ball mindset with a speedy guy. So we had guys in the middle order who weren't hitting 260. They might have 40 home runs, but the guys who are hitting, 310 and are splashing the ball to both sides of the field, slapping it either way. I mean, I like that, man. I want to see some first to thirds. I mean, first to thirds have presented some of the most amazing plays in baseball. Whether the runner is safe or out, right? I was talking about David Freese the other day, and that wasn't a first to third, but it was a play at third. Think about the play in 2001 where the Mariners were playing the Athletics, and a ball was slapped to right field, and no one in their right mind thought the runner would ever be thrown out. And Ichiro picked up the ball and fired an absolute cannon to third base, to David Bell, who I think was the third baseman at the time, I believe, and just gunned him down. I mean, that was unbelievable. And like, I miss plays like that, man. I really do. And I miss hit and runs. How exciting is a hit and run when it gets done correctly? When the guy takes off, the guy slaps a little bouncing ball to the right side because he's just trying to push to the right side, whatever he can do. Oh, man, it's beautiful. It's so beautifully executed. And I do think it's one of those things that, hey, if we're looking for ways to speed the game along, let's get some runners moving, man. Let's get some speed back on the base pass. And I look at teams like the Mariners, who unfortunately I don't think are going to be strong this year or for a few years to come. But they have, I think they're number one in speed in the major leagues. They have guys like D. Gordon and Malik Smith on their team. Man, if they had a few guys in the lineup. Now, granted, there's a lot of issues with the team as far as the gaps they need to fill, but I think they could be a really good team if they had a few more guys in the lineup who were hitting for averages, who are hitting over 300. You put those guys in motion, man, you can manufacture some runs really, really nicely. And I don't know. Also, why doesn't even guys got like 5 tool guys like Trout? Why doesn't Trout run more, man? I mean, that guy's a beast. He could rack up 40 plus 40, 50 stolen bases, man. I mean, yeah. You know, I want to see that. I do. I think we need to put these things in motion. There's so many interesting plays in baseball that we don't see anymore. When was the last time you saw a pitch out? They don't happen, right? Because nobody's running. Nobody's running anymore. How would a pick back to first? No one gets a big enough lead anymore. Again, the last time I can think about these were on highlight plays, right? Man. Yeah. I mean, I'm optimistic. I'm optimistic that we can bring the stuff back, you know? And I think it's a great thing for baseball. And I love baseball. I love baseball right now. I do. I love the long ball. I love the launch angles. It's great. It's great. Good. It's good because I want to embrace all the different parts of baseball. Some people say the launch angle is lame. Guys hitting home runs. Sure. It you know, sure. Sometimes, you know, a home run or a strikeout can feel lame. And I get that. I'm with you. But if we're going to embrace the launch angle like it's been embraced today, why not embrace some of the things that have faded away too? Like stolen bases, right? Why don't we bring that back? Don't you miss the thrilling feeling of standing up, knowing that everyone in the crowd sees the guy stealing and the catcher's the last person to realize it? Everyone, well, I wouldn't say that, but we're all standing up as the guy's stealing and the catcher sees the guy stealing and he knows this is his make or break moment. Now, I will say there are quite a few guys who still have a really solid arm, like Gary Sanchez on the Yankees, who still have cannons, absolute cannons. But, yeah, man, I just want to see it more often. I do. Suicide squeezes, man. Wasn't there a suicide squeeze that the Mariners won the playoffs against the White Sox in 2000? Or is that 2001? I can't remember. 2001, maybe? Man. Those plays, now I'll tell you, let's get the game in motion. Let's get it back in motion, fellas. Because I want to see more of it. I know we all do. I want to see us. There's so many quick guys, man, who got some great wheels, got some great base runners. Remember when we were in college and we were growing up and base running was such an integral skill. It seems like some days it seems like I see guys just run into outs and it's not a big deal. I mean, I get it, you know. I get it that, like, you know, you can't always be perfect on the base paths, but man, let's be smart. Let's be smart out there. I don't want to see a guy just get caught in a rundown, even though he hit a guy in. You know, that shouldn't happen. I mean, I think that should be looked at in a negative way, you know, even though he hit the guy in, you know, he did get out and he prevented another opportunity for the team. What I see way too often is I see like a guy will hit a single. And I get it. Like, he's trying to be aggressive, but we got to be smart too. So a guy will hit a single and he'll score the run in from second. And then he'll try and get to second thinking they're going to throw home, and they cut him off. They cut it off at the pitcher, the first baseman, and then they get the guy out. They get him in a rundown, and it just kills the momentum. Like, imagine how much momentum you would have if the guy gets a single and then he's standing on first base and the team's hype up. He's pumping up the team. But, I suppose that's another thing. But it's just one of those things that I think about, man. I want to see better base running. I do. And it's something that, we may never have someone like Ricky Henderson ever again. Someone that skilled on the base pass and that smart, as far as smart of reading the pitcher and using his skills, to his asset, to his best abilities. We may not have a guy like that again, but what we do have is we still have, we still have the opportunity to have smart base running. We still have the opportunity to advance an extra base, to run first to third place, to do a little hit and run. What about the delayed steal, man? When is the last time you saw a delayed steal? That play was legendary. I mean, granted, it does work a little bit better when you're younger, but still. One of the coolest plays I can think of was when Josh Donaldson for the Blue Jays, he went from second to home in the playoff game versus the Rangers. There was a throw to first, and he just kept running, and that's awesome. I mean, Eric Hosmer did that, I believe as well, in the World Series versus the Mets. I love that stuff, man. And we see it in playoffs, and I love that. But why don't we see it in the regular season, man? Every game's important. And I don't know. I just want to see those things happen more often in a regular season. With that, I want you guys to comment down below and tell me who you think the next base stealer is. The next, like I said, there probably won't ever be a next Ricky Henderson, but tell me who you think you'd like to see running the bases more. And tell me what plays you'd like to see more. Would you want to see more hit and runs like I do, more pitch outs? Yeah, let me know in the comments. I'm always interested to hear from you guys because I want to talk about this. Maybe maybe if we keep talking about it, we can come up with new and cool ideas, and maybe one of these days one of you guys can hop on, and I can have you as a guest, and we can talk about it here, and kind of throw some ideas back and forth. But with that, I am going to bid you guys farewell. Have a great, whenever you're listening to this, it's evening where I am, wherever you're listening to this, whenever, wherever. Have a great rest of your day, or have a great night, have a great morning, wherever you are, whatever time this is. Keep tuning in to K on the Weekday. This is a lot of fun, and I love talking to you guys. Keep on listening. Check in each day for a new podcast. And long live baseball. I will see you guys later. Peace out.